Hey y'all, welcome back. Happy Friday and welcome to Hidden Gem Horror. This is one of my favorite series that I do here, where every Friday we talk about a movie that I feel like people do not talk about enough, and it irritates me, so I bring it to light. If you are new here, like I said, I do this series every Friday. I do other videos about movies as well. We talk about scary stories, we talk about folklore, we do all kinds of spooky things, and if that sounds cool, I would love to have you. Please check out the description for where to send your own stories for me to read. All of my other social medias are linked there, and if you have any movies that you think are deserving of this little spotlight that I do, please comment them below and I will check them out. So today, technically, we have two movies that I'm going to bring to your attention, but only because the original got a remake last year, and I just feel like we need to talk about both of them. So let's talk all about Last Shift and Malum. So Last Shift, I literally heard nothing about ever. I stumbled across it on Tubi and just happened to watch it. I had never seen anyone talk about it once. Now when Malum came out, it got a little bit of a stir because it had a limited theater release, but no one really talks about it anymore, and even the stir that I heard then, it wasn't that great, so I just feel like it's deserving of this little spotlight. So let's get into it. Now, when I say it's a remake, I mean it is an almost identical remake. There are a few like plot points that are different, but for the most part it is exactly the same, so I'm not gonna, deep dive into each plot because it's pretty similar. It's literally a situation of Last Shift came out in 2014, the director didn't use much money to make it, suddenly had a lot of money and wanted to remake it, so remade it and named it Malum. So it's essentially the same thing, but with better cinematography, more intense jump scares, things like that, deeper plotline. But the plot follows a brand new cop who is tasked with staying at a station by herself overnight. You see, the town has just built a brand new police station, and pretty much everything has been transferred over to that one across from the town now. All the calls are rerouted, or they're supposed to be. Everything's operating there. But there's some stuff that needs to be picked up from hazardous stuff needs to be picked up, like the crime scene stuff. So someone has to be in that station on this night to let those people in to get that stuff, and that'll be the last night that they have at this station. So we get in there, it just feels kind of like, that feeling when you were in school for something, like after hours, just that weird feeling. That's kind of the vibes you're picking up of this building. Something just seems off, you're a little creeped out, but you're not sure why because nothing's happened yet. And then things start happening. So at first, it's like lights flickering, doors opening, walking around, like the sound of something walking around, and you're like, this building's haunted. And then that escalates whenever the police officer gets a phone call at the station, which is actually impossible because they rerouted all of the 911 calls. But she gets this call through because someone needs help. But how? That's really suspicious, right? So once that call happens, it catapults the situation into a freaking nightmare where the cop is actually more involved than she realized. Like, there is a reason that this is happening to just her. The jump scares in this, I was not prepared. And I will say, when you're comparing the two jump scares, I think Last Shift was more effective for me personally because I went into it not knowing anything. Like, the reason I watched it is because I really liked the way the poster looked. So I remember clicking on it because of that, not really being prepared for jump scares and getting terrified at some of the scenes. But I had already seen that movie, so when I went to the theater to see Malum, when I drove an hour away because that was the closest theater showing it, I knew it was going to be jump scary, so nothing was really that effective towards me. I can't decide which one I think you should watch first. I think Last Shift probably should be watched first because it is great. I will say I did like Malum better. I liked how they went deeper into the story with the cop and all of the things that tied her in. I really liked that. I really liked the cinematography. I liked the acting a little bit better. But Last Shift is a absolute classic. And like I said, I don't understand how no one talks about it because I'm pretty sure it's for free on Tubi. People have to be stumbling across it like I am. I don't know why attention's not being brought to it. And now that I'm talking about this out loud, I kind of want to make a TikTok and be like, if you haven't seen this, you should. Like, I'm not sure if Malum is streaming on anything. I'm pretty sure Last Shift is on Tubi. I could be wrong. I will link wherever I find them below if I do, but I think it's worth the movie night to watch them. I really, really do. But anyways, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please go watch these movies and let me know what you think. All right.